Okay, everyone, let's picture Sonia. She wakes up and says, today is the day that I'm gonna get all my shit done. Fast forward. I have a coffee mug, my candle. I pray to all the saints and the gods of old, and I look around my room and I actually want to pull my hair out. Why? Because there's shit cluttered everywhere. There's an old plate with breadcrumbs that I haven't moved in 3 weeks.
Guilty.
And a hairball nestled on top of the folded laundry that has been sitting on my desk chair for the past 3 months. Guys, I'm really tired of repeating my underwear. It's been 6 times now.
No, 6? Wait, is this you or Sonia?
It's Sonia. So I'm working in my living room, but the smell of the cat litter makes me nauseous. And I haven't washed the dishes in a couple of days. This is Sonia speaking, not me. My excuse is just to not do anything today. So Sonia is going to eat her guilt on the form of popcorn and try to watch a chick flick on Netflix.
Okay. I hate those. I love those.
I hate chick flicks. So I just, Sonia saying, right? And she wants to punish herself for her lack of productivity, and most likely the cycle will repeat again tomorrow.
Dun, dun, dun.
Do you get the picture?
Yeah.
Does this possibly sound a little bit familiar?
Sadly. Not that extreme. Not that extreme. Yeah. Wearing underwear for 6 weeks is crazy. It's 6 weeks? No.
Oh, no. Well, shit. We have work to do. So in this episode, I'll help you create a space for working where even a piggy could write a novel in 2 days. Yes, a space so tidy that would make both Marie Kondo and your future mother-in-law proud. And they even want to have tea. Wow. Because here at Aren't You Crazy, we help you crush your creative goals 1 week at a time. This is our podcast, and you're so welcome.
Hi.
So I'm Tessie Herrasti. I'm an actor and multi-hyphenate based in New York City with over 27 years in the arts and a hidden talent for organizing spaces. So I am really not Sonia. I'm quite the opposite. In other words, I'll get your creativity bouncing off the walls in no time. And joining me are my amazing co-host, Erin Elizabeth Reed, a former attorney, now thriving as an actor, writer, and director, and Mel Mandara, a successful marketing director who helps creatives make money, though. Money online, doing what they love. And together, we're here to help you navigate the twists and turns of your creative journey, even if it does look messy.
Thank God. Because I just have to admit that while I consider myself a clean person, it is difficult in New York City keeping my tiny room tidy, and I need order for me to sit down and feel creative. So I'm very much looking forward to your tips today.
It's exciting. Well, let me tell you a little story. I'm gonna admit that I've always been very obsessive. When I was a kid, I had animal figurines and dolls, which I really love to color coordinate and classify where the animals came from. I would say, this is from the jungle and this is from the tundra and everything.
Wow.
And with that, my organizing and classifying skills grew. And so did my obsession for free clutter spaces.
Oh, you had OCD straight out the womb, huh?
Yeah. Pretty much. It was very functional.
You were in your mom's womb, reorganized into organs.
Exactly. Here, none of these has to go to the left. But why would I play like this as a child? You're going to be thinking okay, well, my dad is discipline and efficiency obsessed. He likes things that are done efficiently. And if you're going to do something, you're going to do it right or not do it at all. Oh, it's kind of like in that military. And so my brothers and I, when we were kids, he will check the beds and you have to straighten them again and again.
How old were you guys?
6 or 7.
Childish.
And we had to keep our toys back in order. But his favorite was, you're gonna laugh.
Okay.
Folding plastic bags.
What?
And linens.
Plastic bags?
They had to be folded in little triangles where they would all connect to one another, almost like an origami kind of thing. And the only way that they would all fit in the drawer that was this thick would be to fold them in perfect triangles.
Yeah.
It folded in.
It's so interesting. Like in my household, we just put the bags in the bags. Like you'll have an infinite bag of garbage bags inside garbage bags. I just realized it, but like never use.
Folded.
You ever go back to them? And I really, really hated the process as much as I hate eating a papaya.
I love papaya.
D-tier fruit like that. You throw it in the garbage. I hate papaya.
Why do I feel like this? Okay, this is like 2 against 1 this episode so far, multiple times. Okay, go on.
Okay, well, now today I can actually be grateful that I have those skills in such a military regiment, because today I work as a professional organizer in my non-acting / survival job.
With that money, I'm all about the money.
Skills
Making
to use.
money, and it all feels like a mindfulness exercise and a puzzle.
Yes.
How did you get in, like, from actor, you say, actress? Acting, the film industry. How did you get into, like, the organizing space?
Well, it kind of started a long time ago. Remember when I was classifying animals at 5 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, later it started by doing my mother's house, and then I helped my brothers, and then I read a ton of books and I researched, and I also got the opportunity to work with moms, with new moms, and in their spaces, and to help them implement systems where they would feel organized, calm, and could take care of what actually mattered. To like be with their babies, but also feel like they were still, women that could have their jobs done and all that, because, they felt a little bit like they couldn't handle it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I donated my time as an organizer. One day I said, why am I having 6 other jobs that are not paying me enough in the city? And I'm like juggling all this schedule as a working actor and everything. And I just picked one job that could maybe pay me more, but and I would actually enjoy. So I Googled organizing business in New York City. And I wrote them a very straightforward email where I said, listen, I'm an actor and my priority is acting, but I'm great at organizing. And if you give me one day in your work, I'll do it for free. And then you can put me to the test and see if you want to hire me or not. And they hired me. I've been working with them for a while now. I'm working with a lot of different spaces, from very small to townhouses of 5, 6 floors. And everything, kitchens, bathrooms, you name it, offices.
Damn, Gina. Okay.
Gina.
Hyena?
Maybe you know.
But one of the biggest issues I always hear on creative people is I can't focus on my space. My space is so tiny that it is practically impossible for me to really separate my bed from my working space.
Especially in New York City.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. There's renting out closets for literally thousands of dollars. Tiny little space.
To sleep in.
Yeah, to sleep in. And you don't have any room for anything. So I really get it. Actually, my working space, it's next to my bed. So I often hear my bed like, hey, let's cuddle. Please watch Netflix. Don't do your book. Don't do anything. Just sleep. Cuddle. First thing, winter's
Oh, yeah.
so toasty and see.
Winter is the worst. I don't want to even get up out of bed.
Yeah. So I have had to establish certain things to make it productive there and to really focus. Okay, once I sit on my desk, it's productivity time. I'm not looking over to my bed and pretending to work. I really, really make it happen. Yeah,
You need those blinders that they put on race horses so they don't see the other horses beside them. Just straight ahead. Dead straight focus.
And I implemented some things that I want to share with you today. So I want to show you how this can still be a place for you to get work done without having to go anywhere or to spend $200 a month in coffee shops unless you want to.
Or those workspaces.
Exactly. Make that as a choice. It doesn't have to be something that you just have to because you can't work in your space. I personally really hate clutter, and I love having a system where I always find the things that I'm looking for. And the beauty of this is that you can create your own. I want you to have a space that you feel good going back to. Yeah. That you feel excited. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to sit down here and this is where my creativity flows and I feel complete.
Yeah.
Now, the other side of the coin is to have a clear idea of what the space would look like, because like me, I get really obsessed of having everything in such a perfect place and state and everything that gives me an excuse to procrastinate, and I end up reorganizing the entire closet, my pantry, the garbage bags. I want to organize the building downstairs, and it gets out of control.
That's me. One day I'm cleaning every single thing, and then the next thing I know, like, it slowly starts getting messier and messier. Like, I don't upkeep it well enough. So it's either really clean or I'm not dirty. Let me just say that. I'm not dirty. It's no. It's an organized mess. I know where everything is, but it's like I'm two ends of like the spectrum. Either it's really clean, really organized, and I'm cleaning, tearing out the whole place and making sure it's clean, everything is folded the right way, or it looks like a tornado went through my room.
Well, you are a Gemini, so that makes sense.
She's a Gemini too. Like,
oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh God. Let me share with you a quote that really resonated with me about decluttering. It was from Barbara Hemphill, who says that clutter is nothing but postponed decisions.
Oh,
which I really, really like, because it's like, you know, we can talk all about what you want, about how to make a space look feng shui or like nice or minimalist or anything. It's just like postponed decisions.
Yeah.
The more you put things, the less ability you have to think clearly and get things done. A cluttered space is actually nothing but a cluttered mind, and clutter is just postponed decisions. So remember Sonia?
Yeah. Sonia, right? Okay.
So the very first thing that we need to do is define what is your prime workspace.
Okay.
So this is basically, we're going to establish what's your productivity paradise. Is the perfect environment where you're laser focused.
Can you work in bed? Like, you know, one of those?
I mean, you know, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the one that created Fleabag.
Yeah. Queen of my idols.
Yeah. She writes everything she writes in bed, but she has her own system, and that works for her. If you don't get distracted, if you don't fall asleep, then, you know, she's always saying, work in bed. I cannot imitate her voice, but whatever. But it's where you want to be effortlessly crushing all your tasks and creative goals. And this is like the focus of this podcast, right? So
yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
So how do you figure out where in your home or wherever you choose is that your productive paradise, like you said?
So it really depends on each person and the way your mind works. Like, I know that I cannot work in bed because I get too relaxed and too soft in my body, that the only thing that I want to do is just grab popcorn, fall asleep, or grab a chocolate ice cream and just watch Game of Thrones.
For me too, if I'm in bed, like I purposefully don't want to work in bed. Like, I want, when I hit the bed environment is cueing my body for rest and relaxation.
Separation of work and like leisure. Like, I had to have like a hard separation. Like, this is where I'll work and then this is where I'll relax.
Exactly. And this could be anything. This could be like your home office that you created, or you could go to the nearby library. You can go to the furthest library you want. You can go to a forest or whatever, if you have internet and coverage and that's what you want to do. Or even that quirky little coffee shop where everybody goes and they put the trendy music with the best scenes and the piggy indulgent, self-care friendly chocolate croissants with almonds and a reminder of Paris. But I regress. So
no, I need to know where's that coffee shop?
Oh my God! Well, wow, there's one that you took me to where they have the polished pastries, or
oh yeah,
my heart,
delicious. I was there the other week.
It's New York. They're on every corner.
Exactly. But if you can focus there and you can make it work,
I don't know. I'm the opposite. I can't work in noise, but I can't work with too much. I get distracted. Maybe I have ADHD or something like that. too much noise like really sets me off. What about like for someone like me who needs a quiet space?
Well, you need to create your own quiet environment. Where would it be a place where you would feel safe and productive enough that you can repeat over and over and over again? That's not going to create a procrastination excuse. So if you only can focus in the public library, so what happens when you need to work on a vacation, for example, for a couple of days? Are you not going to work because you're not in the public library? So it's like you make up your mind and try to keep it as far as connected to excuses as possible. So if the public library works for you and you can go every single day to it at this every single time that you have to commit to your creative goals, then fine, do it. If you can do it in a heavy metal concert, hey, I have no judgment here. Usually, procrastination always sneaks in when you're not in your prime space. So you might find yourself scrolling on memes of cats or finishing your projects, been there, laughed a lot. I have 2 cats now, done that, check. But I'm talking about finding the sweet spot where distractions become so minimal that your creative juices are actually allowed to flow freely.
Okay.
So how do you find that? It's like dating, actually. You have to try a few options before you find the right one. You need to experiment with different environments and notice where you feel the most productive and the most focused. I get really focused on nature, for example, in a park. But I know that, for example, sometimes I couldn't upload big videos in a park because I don't have the bandwidth, internet or the Wi-Fi. But if my objective is to read 3 chapters of a book, then I rather go to the park, sit next to a tree, and I can assure you that I'm going to read the 3 chapters of the book.
So you can even have ideal productivity paradises for separate types of work.
Oh, that makes so much sense. It's so personal. Like, it's like really personal because, for example, you said reading books, and I'm like, oh, I like listening to like audiobooks or podcasts like while on the subway and it's filled with people. Like, it's my way to like get rid of the zona from the crazies. And I would never thought like one of my productive paradises would be on a New York MTA train. Like,
for you that you don't like noise, you're in one of the most noisiest place ever, but you can focus in your audiobook. And if your objective of that week or that month was to finish that particular audiobook and you do it in the subway, that's your productivity audiobook space.
oh, okay.
My productivity of reading is outside in the park, in next to nature. My productivity writing space is my desk because I have 0 excuses of like, oh, I don't have battery in my computer, I don't have internet, I don't have my research books, I don't have whatever it is that I'm looking for, you know. So that prime workspace will change depending on the goal and that the task that you're working on, as we just say. So we established that about the prime space. This is amazing. The time has come to finish this episode. Bye. Thank you for listening. You didn't get any skills? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Wait.
I was so confused. I was just like, what? My face.
I got you.
Oh my God, you did.
I'm just kidding. Let's talk about creating a functional, minimalist working space without breaking the bank. Okay? So it's all about less is more. The creativity is the focus. It's not the things that you have around you. If you don't have budget for expensive plastic containers, no problem. Save the cardboard boxes from cereals that you eat. Go to the recycling bin. Go outside in the street in the curb. Grab boxes that are different sizes that you can repurpose. You don't have to buy expensive containers to make this work.
This is such like a great tip, especially as someone who's like moving soon. I'm in my mind, like I said, I was on TikTok organizing thing. I'm like, one of these containers is like $30. What the hell? You're organizing everything in your fridge, everything in your house. One lady was like, she spent $700 on containers and other drawer things. I was like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that I could use what I already have or repurpose things that would already end up like in a landmine.
Absolutely. And there's so many boxes that...
Wait, in a landmine?
Oh, landfill.
Blown up.
Landfill.
You're like Wile E. Coyote or something, like setting off the TNT.
Possibilities are really endless. You can use whatever you want. There is always the Goodwill where you can find some containers that somebody... And like, honestly, the amount of things that people get rid of and go to curves and stuff like that, you like, don't be afraid. Like, I have fished things from the curve and I found incredible containers that I use every day that somebody didn't want them. And then I use them. And yes, I have of all the colors possible. I don't have like a feng shui scheme of all of them are made of gold, but I still use them. And whatever works for you, it works. And if you're feeling even more creative, for those of you that draw, paint, illustrate, you can even create illustrations on your cardboards from Amazon that you're going to use as containers, paint them, decorate them, do whatever sparks you joy. Like we have a friend, Andy. She started doing a chandelier from pieces of glass that she has been recovering from the trash and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
She's going to do a chandelier for her whole living room. So I'm going to now give you all the steps to whether you're creating one space that works for you at your home or you're heading somewhere to work. These steps and rules still apply. You don't have to carry all your books or your printer or your holiday luggage into the library, right? So you want to keep things simple, less is more. So everything is always about mindset, and you're going to be hearing mindset in our season and in our episodes. And I personally love holistic approaches and self-care and mental health. So this is my invitation to you.
Okay.
Think of this process as an experiment. What would it feel like to have your own working space, no matter the size? And how would it help your creativity, your productivity, and your focus?
Okay. Like a dream workspace.
Exactly. So that it's less about like the overwhelmness of like, I need to have everything ready before I even start working on my space. It's like, oh no, how do I want to feel when I sit down to draw my paintings or to write my novel?
So tell me about like your space personally. Like what does your dream space like look like?
I would love to have like a desk. And you know those spaces that very wealthy people have that have like a tree inside the house?
Yeah.
In the center?
Courtyards.
Yeah, like courtyards inside, but that everything is insulated so the temperature doesn't fluctuate too much.
That's Japanese.
Yeah.
That's real Zen.
It's a real zen. I really like that.
Wow.
But I cannot have that. So what I have is like a hanging plant next to my desk because that's kind of like the closest that I have to see.
But it's great. That's like first level of your dream home. You're laying the foundation.
Exactly. And who knows, like eventually I know you'll get that.
I know you will too.
What about you, Erin? Like what's your dream space look like? If you just quickly summarize.
I think the best when I can look out the window so I can see nature outside. And it's such a simple thing, but I actually work better when I have a cute little candle burning so that I can see this warm little flickering glow. And sometimes I like to listen to some soft, like binaural beats or something, or like some lo-fi. I need no lyrics. I don't need no lyrics. That'll distract me.
Yeah. What about you?
A couple things. I like modularity. So I like sit-stand decks. I don't like to be in one position at a time. But I like desk on wheels that I try moving around my space a little bit. Sometimes this area works. Sometimes this, I don't really like facing the wall, like Erin says. And I'm a very visual person. I need a lot of Post-its. I need a lot of whiteboards. I be writing everything. I just love analog writing.
Perfect.
Writing.
Yeah, so you're like, for your productivity, you need to be able to see things.
Visual, yes, yeah. Mind maps and a lot of whiteboards, like a lot of whiteboards.
That's so cool. Okay. Like, can you imagine all like Mel's space is just like the four walls there. You can actually write on them, and
that's an ear space.
And then everything you move, her desk moves around, and all the walls she can change. Like that would be like kind of like the cube of Inception of Mel's.
They have like chalkboard paint. I would paint your walls with the chalkboard paint and then write on your wall.
Okay, see, that would bother my anxiety. I don't like chalk.
Oh.
It's a texture. You know, they sell this like, well, this is like kind of like another tip, but they sell some wallpapers that are peel and stick.
Oh, I've seen that. They're whiteboards.
So you can peel, and you don't need to, like, if you rent, like all of us, you don't have to like redo the entire apartment before you change apartments because it's peel and stick. It doesn't hurt the walls.
Oh, wow.
When you remove them.
That's a great tip.
So yeah.
Thank you.
So let's start with step 1. Okay. Decluttering. Start by going through your space and cleaning it up. Do you see any trash? Do you see the crumbs? Do you see the remember Sonia? Okay. The dishes out to the sink. Don't worry, you'll have to clean them up in the same day. So you have 50 dishes, you have 50 cups, you put them on the sink, come back to your place to work, but that same day you'll finish cleaning everything.
All right. So basically what you're saying, so like I'm cleaning my room, so empty out everything out of the room.
Exactly.
Okay.
Empty, or you don't have to like empty the whole room, but like the space that you choose, let's say that you have like a little table there or something, and if that table has old dishes and crumbs and trash and like the old bag of gummy bears that you ate, like take it all out. Like start from a clean slate, and then you'll take care of that cleaning up on the same day, but once that you established what you want to do with your space, so that you don't get distracted and then you start cleaning the dishes, rearranging all the laundry. Oh, I forgot to pick up the mail. Yes, I have to go send this to Amazon to return this. And then you never end up doing your space, because that's how my mind works, at least. Next step, you decide what to keep and what things in your space you don't use and you don't want to keep. What Marie Kondo gives us, she's like a perfect organizer, and like she follows a lot of mindfulness and self-care. She has 2 questions when it comes to decluttering, and I love them. So does this bring me joy? Or do I want to really bring this object into my future self, or the future version of myself that I'm trying to build, which is the one that crushes their creative goals 1 week at a time?
Oh, so the does it bring you joy question, I remember that. But I don't remember the second question. Do I want to bring this object into the like future version of me? That's really like sticking out to me at this moment.
Yeah. That rule applies to all decluttering. It's like, is that book that you bought for self-help 7 years ago that you don't even identify with that situation anymore, because you might not have been going to the same grief of that 7 years ago, and you still have it in your bookshelf calling out to you, you never did this, you're a loser, you didn't work on this book, you bought it 7 years ago. Get it out. Get it out, because those are the voices that you're going to be hearing when you want to become creative. And you alone can decide that. Not your dog, not your partner, not your cat. You only can decide what to keep in your life. Don't ask your partner, don't ask your neighbor. You decide it. It's within your psyche, your grasp. And listen to this attentively. If you decide to sell or donate, you need to make sure that you carve the time within that week to place all the items for sale on Craigslist, Facebook, eBay. You don't have to sell them the same week, but you have to place them for sale the same week. And even if they haven't sold yet, take the photos, publish them, create a corner of your space with a bag or a box to keep them meanwhile they sell. Separate them from your space and set a deadline to the sales.
Yeah.
Am I going to sell this in 3 months, in 6 months? Is it going to stay here forever? No, I don't want to. Then you have to see where you're going to donate them or place them.
I know someone who does that.
Yeah. So I'll tell tales on myself just very briefly. I recently decluttered my closet from some clothing, and I was like, yes, I'm donating them. I put them in a bag. I marked them donate. I set the bag in my corner. I never gave myself a deadline of when I was going to take them to the donation center. They sat there for like months and just became extra visual clutter.
Yeah.
So deadlines.
And that corner drags energy out of you, because subconsciously you'll eventually move your eye and see it and like, oh, I haven't taken this to the donation space. And that takes you out.
For me, it's a little bit different. Like, I like to think of it like this object, this item, it's paying rent in my apartment. So let's say I live in 100 square foot bedroom, and I pay $1,000 for it. If this thing is taking up half of my space, is it worth the $500 I'm paying a month like in rent? It's just taking up space. It's not worth it. Every item in my space has to fight for its worth there, or it's not worth it. Wow. It's just not worth it.
Like people in your life, it's the same. It's the same. You decide, but really make it happen within the week of like putting it in sale or taking it to the donation bin or calling your grandma like, Granny, I want to give you all my old canvases. Do you want them? Great. try not to place it on people that you love unless they decide to. Like, just give them the option. Say, like, if you want any of these, but please don't like go and bring it to your mom's. That's also something that Marie Kondo says. Don't bring it to your mom's house and create them the clutter. Decide what you want to keep and what you want to depart. And if there is something that is very sentimental, one, leave it on the end. We always tackle sentimental and memorabilia at the very end. Well, I actually have an example of that. So I have one of my mother's shirts from the 60s.
Oh, wow.
That she wore on the 60s. And I really like it. And somehow, thank goodness, it still fits. The day that it doesn't fit is the day that I know that I cannot depart from it because it's too sentimental. But I'm going to fold it and frame it and put it on the wall.
Oh, wow.
And that it will be a reminder of something that I wore, that I honor, that it was passed through me. I don't want it to end up in a bag or in a bin where it's going to smell like
Old
moth
clothes.
and old clothes. And it's probably it's going to go to waste. So it's either I donate it to a bin where someone else can use it, or I put it on a frame, or I create a box with old letters from people that I love. And I know that that box is sentimental and that whenever I pull it out, it's going to be a moment for me to go back to the memory lane. But it is honored. We need to honor the things that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is a trigger warning. A lot of people get separation anxiety when it comes to decluttering, and this is normal. So I invite you to think of this. You're not really underappreciating or being ungrateful for what you have. You're simply making room for yourself, removing the distractions, the postponed decisions, so you actually start honoring the things you wish to keep. It's all about the perspective. So give yourself that credit of like, you're not being ungrateful. You're just like, okay, I don't need this anymore, occupying space in my life. Thank you. I'll let you go.
And you might be like, something that you weren't even using could be bringing someone else joy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mourn them, love them, hug them, let them go, make a place for them, like take your time. Like that's why we leave sentimental by the end. Like you always tackle first like trash, then you can create categories. So what are like books, utensils. I'm going to talk about that in the next steps.
Worn down pencils with no eraser left.
Exactly.
But there's still lead in the pencil, so I keep it.
What about all the...
Throw it in the trash, Erin. Throw it in the trash.
Throw it in the trash. But I was going to say, what about... So I don't know if this is a Gen Z millennial thing. I'm a cusp baby, right? What about... I have a tendency to... I have a lot of gadgets. So I have a tendency of keeping the boxes that they come in. I don't know. I have so many, like the iPhone box, the MacBook box, all of those boxes. What? I don't even understand why I'm keeping it. Like, I don't know why I'm holding on to that.
Reassess. Like if it's something that you want to sell in the next 2 years because it will have a bigger value and you want to get the new one, then keep the box, but put yourself a deadline. Again, in 2 years, I'm going to sell this. I'm going to put it in its packaging. I'm going to give it a good price. And then with that money, I'm going to repurpose it to buy the new version by investing a little bit more. Then it has a way to be on the original packaging because it's going to give a little bit more price, I guess. But just like don't lie to yourself and keep it for 15 years because you can always use bubble wrap and put it in another box or have someone pick it up and put it in the back of his car with 50 blankets to avoid impact. So
yeah.
It's like, just keep it simple. Let's go to step 2, furniture and setup. If it's available to you and you can spend time working from home, I suggest that you invest or save up for a good chair and some sort of desk. You can buy it reused. You can ask someone on social media who has one for donation. You'll be surprised how many people want to help you. If you put it on social media, like, I really need a desk, I don't have the money to buy one. Has someone had a spare one to donate? You'll be surprised. You just have to go and pick it up. So it's up to you on how much the cost is going to be to pick it up and come back or buy one that is maybe a little cheaper. So we don't always have the space for a giant desk and a giant chair. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you think about that before getting back surgery or carpal tunnel surgery later. Because sometimes if you work too much on a desk and you don't have support on your elbows, carpal surgery is coming later after a certain amount of time. And when you don't have a good chair to support you when you're sitting down and working, or a good thing that comes modular up and down and all of that, later you're going to pay it in medical bills. So what you're saving now, you're paid later.
Ergonomics. Plus, check Facebook Marketplace. There's a lot of gems out there.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
So let me give you a great example of a solution when the desk option wasn't available for space. I have one of my friends that lives in Queens, and her space is so tiny, like really so tiny that she can't fit a desk, not even a small one, not even a thin one. So she went and bought a square of wood that was like the space enough for her elbows to sit down comfortably and work. She measured it. And she bought some screws and some hinges and put it on her wall. And then she brings it down, works on it, and brings it back.
What?
Like a frame of a, that you put and you just bring down.
You go, girl.
There's a million options out there for to do it yourself. And they're as budget friendly as you like them to be. They don't have to be fancy. They just need to be functional and harmonious for you so that you can get your work done. So let's move on to step 3. Office supplies. I already told you, use recycled boxes of different sizes as drawer organizers. Or if you can, purchase some containers. You can upcycle. You can paint over cans, mason jars, pencil holders to keep your office supplies neat and accessible. Is easy peasy. What do you want? Neat and accessible. That's all. When we go to an organizing job of this very high end, very big jobs that take 7-8 days on completing, we go through all of the pencils, pens, and markers, and we try them in a piece of paper. And if they have the faintest illusion of not painting anymore, we throw them to the trash. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to use them. If they already got dried in the drawer, it means that they didn't.
Why are you keeping them? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Exactly. So let's go to step 4, organizing. We already decluttered. We already created our space. We have our desk, and then we created the drawers or the containers, right, to hold our things. So now let's start establishing categories, okay? So you can have as many categories as you like. Think about books, notebooks, and agendas. Then you have office supplies, what we call stationery, which is letters, stamps, greeting cards. All of that is called stationery. Then we have candles. Then you can organize this by anything. You can be as OCD as you like. Organize them by color, by alphabetic order, by theme, by topic, by genre, using it as backstock. So just make sure that you have only what you need and keep it per category so that it doesn't become a visual clutter. Think of it this way. You're currently using a toothbrush to brush your teeth, right? And I would say...
No, I'm not.
No? Oh, well, or whatever you use your finger.
Mel uses her finger.
Really? Okay, that's cool.
She's playing. What?
Okay, great.
I use a toothbrush, guys. I'm just playing around.
I would say, okay, it's reasonable to have maybe 1 or 2 spares so that when you're going to change it or let's say that it falls in the toilet. So what are you going to do? Reuse it?
Clorox.
No, that's not the bathroom cleaning toothbrush. What?
No, you're right. It becomes the bathroom cleaner brush. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put it back in the mouth.
So you're probably, for occasions like that, you have 1 or 2 spares as backstock, the way we call backstock. And then when you need it, you change it. Or if one of your friends stay over, like Arian, that you create one, you put Arian, and then it becomes so that you don't want your DNA in everywhere's mouth. And but realistically, let's talk really, really real here. You don't need to have 100 spare toothbrushes or buy the packages that have 55.
But sometimes you save a little money, you know what I'm saying?
But how long are those toothbrushes going to last you? I got to think about, okay, so I could spend $20 on 55 toothbrushes. And my per toothbrush cost is really low compared to buying the 2-pack. But if it's going to take me 7 years to go through 55 toothbrushes, I got to cart 55 toothbrushes everywhere I go, and they're paying rent.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And then once you open the box of the toothbrushes, inevitably they're going to get dirt and who knows what else. So just a thought, you can have, buy the saving pack that has 5. That's reasonable to me. You can put it somewhere where it doesn't occupy space, but don't buy the 50, 100. And if you have a bigger house, the problem is still the same because you'll still find places to storage things that you're not going to see in the next 5 years. So you can have 5 pens, 5 pencils, but it's really unlikely that you'll need 50 pens of the same color and number and everything on your desk when you're drawing and sketching. Remember that you're honoring their value and the place in your space. So change your mindset first about things, not having all the equipment or more equipment, but appreciating every single piece of equipment that you have. Go back to step 1 to clear this if you're not sure. To step 1, decluttering, right? Just to be honest with yourself and don't turn the space into an entire warehouse of the Office Depot.
I love me some Staples.
I love me some Staples too, but I wouldn't want to live in one. That's for sure.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay,
That's
step 5.
okay.
And then there was light. Light is such an important piece in the puzzle.
Yeah.
I have a game of words here, like light as in minimal, clean, uncluttered, and light as in bright, luminous, inviting. Good lighting is crucial. So if you have natural light coming from windows, this is like great. This is ideal. I don't. So I live in a dungeon. My apartment is...
No, you don't.
It's literally a dungeon. No, we're literally in a dungeon right now.
Right.
This is a green screen behind us.
Yes, exactly. It's like my coffin is in the back where I sleep at night because I cannot see the sun. So buy a budget-friendly desk or a lamp that doesn't make your workspace look like a vampire crypt. I personally like that, but okay. This comes particularly handy when you're a night productive owl like me. I don't work well during the day. I'm not a morning person. I wake up early. I do what I need to do, but I would rather work at night because it's where my brain is the sharpest. So that's like literally comes with the package of that I wouldn't get natural light even if I had a lot of light coming from my windows because my brain works at night. The light is gone.
So that seems like it's actually part of your productive paradise puzzle piece. Is not just knowing the environment, but also the time of day.
Exactly.
When you work the best.
Yep.
Okay. Love it.
And then last but not least, the step 6 is personalization or Hygge.
What?
Hygge. Okay, what is Hygge? There is a term in Danish called Hygge that can't really be translated, but it actually refers of a quality of coziness or comfort that creates a feeling of well-being.
Oh.
I thought it was an IKEA furniture piece.
So adding this like personal touches to your space can actually optimize your productivity and make you feel happy or Hygge. So maybe it's a plant. Maybe it's a quirky calendar with photos of me in the 1,025 Pokemon outfits and an inspirational quote.
I need that.
Mm-hmm. Or the 2 little orange lamps.
Gotta catch 'em all. No, but like really pick the colors that make you happy, that inspire focus and productivity. For example, I really love black. Like we love black. We're wearing black.
I'm black.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be conducive for my work to sit in front of a black wall.
Yeah.
So just play with it. Imagine what your dream space would be, and don't worry if it takes a while to get shape. You can slowly and gently make it more cozy as you go. Cozy, not cluttered.
Cozy.
Remember to keep it simple. Don't go overboard. If you're a wall ideas person posted like me or Mel, if you like to see, I make sure that my post-its are aligned by color, by project or idea. And once I finish that series of post-its, I clean up my wall again and I start the next batch. I haven't reviewed that post-its for 3 months. I'm not going to review it. Clearly, I need to let it go.
Exactly.
It goes out of the wall. And here's obviously this is not a paid ad or anything.
Not sponsored. Not yet.
Not sponsored yet, but my favorite wall post-its are by this brand called Inox, INNOX, by Inno Tools or INNO Tools. And I just love them because they don't have glue. They're just added by static to the wall. So you can put them on static, and then what you can do is replace them. So let's say that you're writing a book or a novel or something, and you need, or creating a mind map. And one day you need to ship them. You don't need to remove them and lose the glue each time you remove them. You just shift them like this, and they rearrange as static.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
That's something that I really, really love. And if you are, they're fabulous, but they're not reusable. So if you are looking for an eco-friendly thing, there are actually Post-its that exist that are for whiteboard. Yeah, like again, the world is your oyster, right? There is also like a wallpaper that you can put that is magnetic. And then there are Post-its that are whiteboard that are magnetic. So you can fill up your wall of magnetic Post-its that you can rearrange and write on them and erase on them. So like that requires maybe a little bit more budget. But hey, you can start with 5 with a little square of wallpaper that maybe costs you $10, and with 5 Post-its that are going to be the ones that you're going to use the most. And then you can make it bigger and bigger and bigger as you go, as your budget grows, as your creativity grows, as you're crushing your creative goals 1 week at a time. So that's a lot to unpack in this episode, but I want to offer you with a journal exercise at the end so that you can create your space. You can do it once you have your space created, once you follow all the steps. And I would really love for you to share your experience. Are you out there to share your experience with us? So how do you feel now that you have created and optimized your prime working space? And when do you feel the most productive or focused? Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon or the evening? I left this by the end because first we want you to establish where you're going to work. And then, like once you have the prime space, then you check out the prime time of your work. And then the last one, but not least, can I commit to myself and carve 90 minutes a week to work on my creative goals in this space? Yes and no. If the answer is no, then recalibrate, play again, change it again, and that's where you're gonna figure it out. Since my desk is next to my bed, I created a little line of wallpaper to divide the sleeping space from the actual working space, and that visually creates a separation that I cannot create with a wall, or I cannot make because I don't have that space. But just the fact that there's a change of color with a peel and stick that I bought from the bed to the space completely refrains me and say, okay, I'm not in my bed anymore. I can work.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh, the bonus right there.
And then all the prompts and resources that I just shared will be written in the description of this episode. And yeah, I hope it was not a lot and you didn't feel overwhelmed, but I loved sharing this with you of a little bit of the things that I do every day. And
thank you, Tessie.
Grateful.
This was great. I learned a lot.
I actually learned a lot. Yeah, I got some new fresh tips. I'm excited to implement in my own space. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. Stay crazy out there, y'all.
Stay crazy.
Yeah.